wish you could learn Japanese with the things you actually enjoy? Then you found the right video, because today I will teach you Japanese with the game Baldur's Gate 3. Don't worry though, it won't be a dry vocabulary drill, as I will not only show you the meaning of the words, but I will also help you with the sentence structures, remembering some of the kanji, point out important points about the language, and stuff like that. Now let me tell you just a few things about this video before we start. First, this video is mainly for learners who already know at least some basic Japanese. Second, I won't go over every single word that is on the screen, because that would be really tedious. Rather, I will try to focus on the things that are relevant to the current gameplay, interesting, or a must-know thing. However, don't forget, if you have any questions about the stuff we learn, feel free to ask them in the comment section and I will try my best to answer them. And one last thing, Baldur's Gate 3 is a Western type RPG game, so in some cases it was probably a challenge to translate it to Japanese. Because of this, we might run into some sentences here and there that sound less authentic than what you would encounter in a Japanese RPG. Despite that, I still wanted to make this video because in my opinion, it's still an amazing opportunity for those who want to learn from the games they enjoy. But now, minasan, let's actually start. First, we are met with the Naido no Sentaku screen. Meaning-wise, it's nothing particularly difficult, as Naido is pretty self-explanatory. We can find the first kanji in the word muzukashi, while the second is in the word yasashi. And you might have already seen do when looking at temperature, as its meaning is degree. Now, if we stick them together, difficult, easy, degree, we will get difficulty. Pretty logical, right? Now, the second part of the sentence is no sentaku. No is the particle that connects the two nouns, and sentaku means selection. So the whole sentence means difficulty selection. However, pay attention if you ever want to write down sentaku, because there is another sentaku meaning laundry. There is one last thing before we move on. The pronunciation of naido. You have to make the last N of nan sound more subtle, almost as if there were no N like naido. The reason is that if we would pronounce it hard like nanido, it could be mistaken as if the word has the hiragana ni instead of the hiragana N and E in it. So you have to watch out for words where there is an N before the E sound. Hai, tsugi wa boukenka, adventurer. I would add one little note here. Yes, the ka kanji is the kanji that means house, ie. However, it also means a professional and an expert, so it's often used in words that describe someone who does X. That is why it's in boukenka, literally meaning somebody who does adventure. Now let's read the description of the boukenka difficulty. Toki ni wa chousen teki na sentaku mo semarareru bouken o motomeru kata ni saiteki. Okay, there are a few things going on. We will first look at the words and then we will figure out the sentence itself. It starts with the adverb toki ni wa, sometimes, at times. Then comes a na adjective, chousen teki na, challenging. Do you know what the kanji teki does? It turns a noun into an adjective, in particular to a na adjective. So we have the noun chousen, meaning challenge. We add the teki to the end and tada! It became chousen teki, challenging. Be aware that you unfortunately can't let your creativity loose and turn everything into a na adjective this way. You need to learn which words it works with. Let's continue. Sentaku mo. We have already learned that sentaku means selection, but here it has the meaning choice. And mo is a particle meaning to. Semarareru's dictionary form is semaru, and it means to force, to urge. It looks like this because it's in the passive form, where the ru type verbs become rareru. So, semarareru simply means to be forced. In this sentence, the mo, which stands behind sentaku, will mark the thing that will be forced upon. The person it's being forced upon is not mentioned, but we can logically assume that is the player. Next is bouken, which we have already seen in boukenka. Then comes the object particle o. Next up is motomeru, which in this sentence means to seek. Now, kata is a really interesting word. While you probably learned that when pronounced as kata and stuck to a verb stem, it means how to or the way of, like in tsukurikata. However, they also use it as a more formal way of saying hito. So in this case, it will mean person. At the end of the sentence, we have nisaiteki, meaning most suitable for, best for. Sai is a pretty useful kanji as it means most. So whenever you see sai in the beginning of a word, you will instantly know that it means something extreme or alike. Now that we have checked everything, let's look at the sentence as a whole. I promise it won't be difficult. 時には挑戦的な選択も迫られる冒険を求める方に最適。If we start from the end, it will be easier to translate. So let's just do that. を求める方に最適。The best for those seeking. The whole 時には挑戦的な選択も迫られる part is the description of 冒険. An adventure where you are sometimes forced to make challenging choices too. So let's put it all together. Best for those seeking an adventure where they are sometimes forced to make challenging choices too. Yay, we can finally move on. So let's select the Bokenka difficulty. Don't worry if you are going a bit slow with the game at the beginning. As we learn more and more, there will be less and less new stuff. So after a while, it will be much faster to proceed with the game. I will also try to not move word by word with the easier parts of the sentences to speed up the process and also to make more time for us to focus on the harder things. Now we are here at the character creation screen. Let's see what kind of things we need to set. First, selecting the Shuzoku, race. As you can see, everything is in katakana, so we don't need to worry about them. I will stay with the selected Erufu, race. The actual interesting part comes with the race description. 有限な美貌と長寿を誇るエルフは自然の力に精通し、光の中でも闇の中でも力を発揮する。Our first word is a really interesting one. 有限な. It describes a kind of mysterious, subtle beauty of things. It's one of Japan's aesthetics. It's really hard to describe. It's a you have to feel it kind of word. But I think that if you think of the typical elf aesthetic, you can kind of get what Yugen is about. Bibo means beauty, good looks. To particle means end. Choju means longevity, long life. It is actually pretty self-explanatory if you know the kanji. I think you might have already learned the first one, which is nagai. And for the second one, you probably already have seen it, even if you are not really into Japanese. But you might have not known what the kanji's original meaning is. Yes, it's the same kanji from sushi. This su kanji's actual meaning is longevity, one's natural life, gratulation. So it totally makes sense why it's in choju. But what's up with sushi? How did rice with fish become longevity official? The thing is, sushi is actually an ateji, meaning that they picked kanji that have the proper sound, onyomi, for the word rather than the right meaning. By the way, if you like the video so far, please consider subscribing. Thank you. Now, let's move on to o hokoru, which means to be proud of, to take pride in something. Erufu wa elf plus topic marker particle. Shizen no chikara, nature's force, nature's power. Ni setsu suru means having a thorough knowledge of, being familiar with, being well versed in. So the next, wait a minute, why is there only a shi after setsu? Did they forget to add the te to connect the two sentences? Or did they forget the mas? No, they did none of them. It's actually another way to connect two sentences the same way we can connect them with the te form. However, it is much more formal and it's used a lot in writing. So to make these kind of sentences, just cut off the masu from the massive form of the verb, put a comma after it, and then you are set. Now let's see 光の中でも闇の中でも力を発揮する, showing their strength both in light and darkness. Don't be fooled by this part. It's not demo that we use for but. It's actually hikari no naka de mo. So hikari no naka's literal meaning is inside the light, while that comes after it states that you are doing an action in it, like when you say beddo de nemasu. I'm sleeping in my bed. If we swap beddo with hikari no naka, so hikari no naka de nemasu, we get I sleep in the light, or yami no naka de nemasu, I sleep in the dark. But we are really sleepy, so we don't actually care if it's dark or not. So we have to use the mo particle, meaning to. Hikari no naka de mo, yami no naka de mo nemasu. I sleep whether it's light or dark. So that's about hikari no naka de mo, yami no naka de mo. The last, chikara o hakki suru part, simply means to demonstrate one's power or to show one's strength. So now, let's look at the sentence as a whole. 有限な美貌と長寿を誇るエルフは自然の力に精通し、光の中でも闇の中でも力を発揮する。To break this down, first we will have to find our topic, which is everything before the topic marker は。有限な美貌と長寿を誇るエルフ。Everything before elves is actually their description, so it will become the elves, proud of their profound beauty and longevity. Then we can continue with 自然の力に精通し are well versed in nature's powers. Then comes the second part of the sentence 光の中でも闇の中でも力を発揮する and also show their power both in light and darkness. So all in all, the elves, proud of their profound beauty and longevity, are well versed in nature's powers and also show their power both in light and darkness. Yay, we made it! We are finished with this sentence. I want to speed up the character creation a little because otherwise we would be here for hours on end. But don't worry, we will learn the important things we skipped when they become relevant later. We have to select the Ashizoku subrace. Do you notice how it uses the same Shizoku kanji as we learned before in the race? But there is a attached to the front, which looks like a Roman numeral 2 that grew a mouse. It works just like the English sub. Just stick it before a noun and it will mean sub X. So for the Ashizoku, I will choose Hai Erufu. Now for the Shokyu Jumon, cantrip, or the mirror translation, Shokyu, beginner level, elementary level, Jumon, spell. Kyu is another good to know kanji. It means rank, class, and grade. So whenever you see it after another kanji, you can figure out their meaning together. For example, Jokyu is high grade or advanced level, while Nikkyu is second grade or second class. For a kurasu, I chose a Doruido, then Then came the Haikei, the background selection. The first kanji, se, means back. I really love this kanji as it truly looks like someone with their back facing toward you. A pro tip, if you see the tuki in mainly the left or sometimes in the bottom of the kanji, like in this, se no hai mune, then it's actually a version of niku, meaning flesh. This way it makes sense why tsuki is used a lot in words for body parts. My character came from Kizoku, aristocracy, and has skills abilities, gino, such as Rakishi, history, and Settoku, persuasion. I must add though that I see skill used more in games than gino. And I think that we should end today's episode here, as I want to keep this video as an introduction to this type of content. I don't know yet if I will make another episode of this or switch to another game. It mostly depends on how helpful you find these breakdowns. So if you found this video helpful, please subscribe and leave a like or a comment, as it helps my channel grow, and also I would love to see if this kind of language learning content is your cup of tea. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next one.